Let's start off with the first question. The first question is from Anonymous, and the question is, do you think music albums will be obsolete in the future? Why? And if so, what do you think will be the new body of work? So let's start off with Don, because I know you're a type of music guy. Do you think that in the future, music albums will be obsolete?
I think that's the way it's going now, right? People are just trying to get attention. It's more about how much attention they can get. And albums don't necessarily get attention because it's input versus output. They put in all of this work for, a body of work, an album, and then they release it in one go, and then they've just got one promotion for it. But it may not get as much attention as it would if it were multiple different tracks, right? If it was one track at a time, you could push that for a month. You'd have a marketing campaign, and I defer to Nats's expertise on this in terms of the marketing, but you would push it out for a month, and then the next month you'd have a completely different song, and you'd have more content. And I think that's what it comes down to nowadays. It's about having more content out there.
So do you think like the future is more so just dropping singles or like little mini packs of 4 or 5 tracks to release as their body of work, rather than just dropping a whole full 10-song album to 20-song album?
I reckon it'll be more towards dropping singles. And even if they do create an album, they'll release that in a piecemeal fashion. It'll come out, here's one track, and then here's another, and then you'd release the entire album at the end of a 3-month campaign or something like that. Much like how episodes of TV shows come out, you see them each week, and then
that's fair.
That could be alright, like seasons, like. Every artist is a TV show, and then they probably have like 20-track seasons where like they drop like in a weekly fashion. That I think that'd be an easy way to digest music nowadays. But I reckon that's a good idea.
That'd be cool, right?
That'd be pretty cool.
It'd be you leave the track on a cliffhanger, and then the next track comes in. It answers the cliffhanger, and then it goes into the next track. Like it's like a story. It tells you an entire story.
I wonder which hoe is gonna throw his money to on the next track. But how about you, Nats? What's your thoughts on the body of work and its future? Do you think albums will be obsolete in the near future, or even probably in a couple of years?
To be honest, I think what Don's explained, I think that's actually happening right now. Essentially with the what you guys explained with the how we artists, it's like TV series and seasons and all that. I think with artists, because like as a musician, there's a story behind the musician, regardless of what they're doing. So they'll be in a different phase. The music changes through time on what stage they are in their career. I do definitely agree with Don with how music is put out now. Is that's the only way to, if you're looking to get big and become a major artist or whatever, the way to go, the business model is you got to keep putting things out like on a consistent basis. In terms to answer if it'll be obsolete, like completely gone, I think it's pointless for an artist just starting out to drop an album, because it's a waste of it's just not a smart way to do it. Like people will do it, but it just won't be as effective, I think, because as trends do, like Russ, the rapper, what he found and why he switched his marketing plan, he was dropping albums every month. What he noticed on the trend on SoundCloud was his first song would get the most hits, just statistically, because people would just check out that body of work, and it'll start there and trickle down to the last song. Whereas, so he switched it up and said, you know what, I'm doing all this energy, putting this material out in bulk. I'm gonna just do one album and send one song each, and then he saved a lot of time with that. I think albums will never be completely obsolete. I think artists that are really powerful, like Drake, and have a lot of reach, they have the capacity to do it, because naturally if they send an album out, it's more smarter for them to do that, because when they drop an album, that's like a guaranteed, like that's how they chart the album, the Billboard or whatever it is. Because if Drake drops a 20 song album, he's gonna be killing it, as opposed to Eminem dropping one single and then, you know. So it's just the way it transcends now these days. That's how I see it.
And I think, just to add to that, there are established artists. There's the difference between an artist who's just starting out
Exactly.
and an established artist. So someone like extreme example is Beyonce, who, when she creates her albums, there is a visual campaign, there is an audio campaign, there is
you have a monster behind it. You have the following behind
there's
it.
massive amounts of content that go into that.
Yeah.
And then she'll release that as a body of work, and that's what she loves to do. But because she's already established, she has the platform, and she has the people to be able to market that
I
too.
think new artists have that approach now too. Like, this is a random ass example, but Rich Chigga, when he dropped his viral hit, he's just a kid that drops like random songs,
AKA Rich Brian now.
Rich Brian now, yeah, but he was Rich Chigga before. But when he dropped that, he got viral. He got a bit of a following. He was in the position to drop an album, but if he dropped that album, it would have no effect. Like, if he dropped that album first without the constant whatever he was putting out before.
Yeah.
Rich Chigga, whatever his song was before then. So that's pretty much
You're
it.
a fan then. You're a fan.
I like him though, man. 88 Rising. Shout outs. Haven't said them in a while.
I really hope that albums don't get obsolete. I hope they actually become a bit more vintage, and then like on a special occasion, probably like an artist or even someone that's like really up there that just continues just doing the album format. Because I know it's slowly deteriorating, but I really hope it just doesn't obsolete, because like I really enjoy a really good themed album.
I love albums.
Or even something that's like really, even the skits, even just like little things like skits, interludes, and how everything just weaves into like concept. Like, that's really the joys of having an album. But they can still do that with the EPs and the 2-packs and all that stuff. So it's not really lost. But I think having an album, fully thought out album, is really one of those things that really defines what an artist truly is to their core.
Damn right.
We should make an album that is like a TV series.
Bro, we made a
mixtape,
mixtape, bro. We made a mixtape.
I know we made a mixtape, but it wasn't a TV series stuff.
We'll call it season 1, next one season 2. Easy. This, bro. All right, so the next question from another anonymous person. Considering we are halfway through 2020, how do you think this year will be talked about in history lessons in 2000?
It's going to be a write-off. This was a write-off. This was a write-off year. This was in what they call it in community, the gas leak year.
The gas leak. Everyone talks about it, but like it's not really shown.
The gas leak year where just it just wasn't great. Like just things weren't great. And
But these are one of those years that you consider something that you'll see in a history book.
Absolutely.
Like, it's not a write-off year in terms of like people will be like just skipping past through it. It's there's a lot of shit that's gone down this year. We're halfway in, and there's a lot of shit that's gone down.
I think somebody said it. I read it. Somebody had said it best, where they said that this year there's a year of pressure, right? And pressure and conflict helps to grow, like helps things to grow, and that's a great way to look at this year. I know I joke and say that it's a write-off and that it's a gas leak year, but I think this year of all years is the time when we have the biggest opportunity to learn and the biggest opportunity to grow.
Yeah, man. I think this year's been more coming together type of year.
I think it's the
start off with the bushfires.
Perfect way to start off the decade, man.
Yeah. So bushfires, people started coming together in support of trying to help people who have been affected by the bushfires, and then after that was the whole COVID thing.
Yeah.
And then now you've been literally hearing people saying we should just come together to fight this disease, stay at home.
Yeah.
And now we have the protesters and the Black Lives Matter movement that's coming together as well. We are halfway through the year, man. I don't know what's going to happen in the second half of this year. Bro,
aliens.
Bro,
this episode of Earth is crazy.
This is a wild season of TV, if this was like a series and there's like particular seasons, this is a crazy year.
Yeah, absolutely.
A crazy season. It's
absolutely.
It's unbelievable. So how about you, Nats? What's your thoughts on this year? How will it be looked back on in 2100?
Yeah, dude, this is history in the making. We are living it right now. And if people are, like, sometimes when people are just so like ignorant about it, like just carrying on like it's normal, sometimes I was like, are you not seeing that there's things happening right now? Like, we are living in this moment. if anything, it's great to be a part of it, to be honest, because I think a lot of the things that have happened are a result of not addressing it as like in humanity, not us literally, but things that we didn't really think of that were probably harming the earth or probably was just being swept under the rug. It's finally being properly addressed, and I think it's the best way to start off the decade. It's like all these issues that have arisen. It's like fuck, let's do something about it finally.
Yeah, that's a good.
Or whatever.
That's a good point. It's like there are all of these inherent problems. We may as well these bad things are happening around the world. Let's start off this new decade.
It could very well mean like 2020 was when things started to get better, because we're realizing a lot of things aren't right, and it comes down to learning, to listening, and just seeing how the world's responding to things, like how we respond in a global pandemic. Never happened to us, not at this scale, at least. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think especially in an age where everything is recorded, where there's so much more access to information, and we're able to reach out and come together in more ways than before.
Yeah, badly.
Essentially, this is a rebrand, like the world rebrand. I swear. Like rebrand. if you think about rebrand, the definition of a rebrand is like you're looking at the things that you want to change to make your brand better.
Change how to work.
Say that essentially a world is a brand.
I am
and
not
to
in
essentially
agreement.
We need to change these particular things. The bushfires give more attention to, say, I don't know, global warming or something like that, or like the environment. Trying to fix it and taking care of the environment. Then we got COVID. Like these things just happen, and when we need to be able to survive in the health and medical side of things.
Yeah.
And racism is the things that we need to change as well, moving forward as
100%.
well. So the rebrand,
100%.
I'm glad that we're going through all these things. It's terrible as it is, as in people are going through all these hardships and everything. But I'm really positive that the rebrand is happening.
I love that you turned it. I love that you used that analogy of it as a rebrand, because that's really good. And I love that even though it's been a difficult year, there are things that we can look forward to, that this is the beginning of like change. It's the beginning of good things can start to happen because this bad stuff has happened.
Hells yeah.
Nice.
Hells yeah.
Nice. So if you have any more questions, just go into our Instagram, send us a DM,
Slide
and just
into our
send it over, and you can give us feedback, a comment. You can even shout out someone. Eventually, you know what? I want to encourage you guys to just send us a voice clip so we could play it on the podcast. I want to make like this voicemail type thing where people can come in and just say whatever they want, whatever is on their mind, because your audience, the audience that we have at the Cheat Coders, the Chicos and Chicas of the Cheat Coders cartel, we want you to be heard, and you are much as part of this show than we are. So
don't
please
be afraid to swear, because I know that all of our guests kind of ask us, "Can we swear?" And we say, "Fuck yeah."
Yeah, fuck yeah. ain't no worry. Ain't no bullshit around no swearing. That's all good. But be sure to find us at Instagram, The Cheat Coders. Just send us a DM through there, or even our Facebook, The Cheat Coders, or comment below on this YouTube, youtube.com/The Cheat Coders. So thanks once again to you guys who have sent through your comments and your questions, and keep listening.